Hello there. My name is Robert Moore, and welcome to Robert's Reviews. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. They're the movies that made me love the movies. I've always loved visiting the galaxy far, far away and seeing the epic good versus evil battle between the Jedi and the Sith, as well as the various worlds, action scenes from space, land, and lightsaber duel, and the unique alien species and amazing characters that inhabit said world. So, I wanted to talk about Star Wars today, particularly the movie that introduced me to this world I love so much, The Phantom Menace. Because this is the movie that introduced me to Star Wars, it holds a special place in my heart. Despite the wide fan backlash this movie got for so long, I think it's a good movie. Not a great movie, but there is a lot to be admired. The action is great, honestly, the highlight of the movie. I love the various lightsaber moves, utilizing flips and kicks that make the scenes very dynamic, and the vehicular action scenes are also just as great. The pod race, despite being pretty long, is still very incredible, with a great sense of speed and danger because of the various obstacles that the racers have to get through, to the climax where Anakin and his rival Sebulba are stuck side by side until Anakin, due to his smaller and slimmer pod racer design, manages to get the better of Sebulba's bulky and large pod racer, ending in the little guy winning both literally and figuratively. I also love the ending Battle of Naboo, mainly because I love the variety of land, space, and lightsaber battle, and each one is entertaining to see. The effects, though not timeless, I find pretty nice. I enjoy practical effects as much as the next guy, and this movie does have a handful of practical effects as well as digital. But I think the digital effects are really impressive for the time they were made in. I mean, when it comes to it, the fact that they were able to create entire worlds using those 90s box computers is just extremely impressive in my eyes. The connections between the characters are some of the best here in the prequel trilogy, I feel. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan feel like master and apprentice. I love seeing the two interact and show just how well a bond they have. You really feel like they have a genuine respect for each other. Similarly, I love the connection between Anakin and Padme. Since the movie isn't focused on their romance as much as other movies, it allows them to be just friendly, and you feel like this friendship will grow into something more along the way. I also like how the Jedi Council and Senate scenes show how ineffective the Senate is and set in their ways the Jedi Order is, both of which will lead to their downfall later on. The villains are pretty good as well. Darth Maul is alright, though of course he has done much better in the Clone Wars. I think the cast is actually mostly solid. The big standout is of course Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan. You really feel like he's a younger version of the character he portrays, and you can just tell how much of a blast he must have had while filming the scenes he's in. The movie introduced me to two of my favorite actors, Liam Neeson and Samuel L. Jackson. I have no problems with Jake Lloyd or Ahmed Best. I feel like they were doing well enough with what they were given, and honestly, they suffered enough from fan toxicity. Natalie Portman is also pretty good, at least as Padme. As Queen Amidala, I feel that she and Keira Knightley try to make an aristocratic performance, though it sounds monotonous and kind of bored. The score is as phenomenal as the rest of the Star Wars movies. John Williams really can do no wrong. The beginning action score when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are battling their way out is triumphant as we see the Jedi cutting through the battle droids. The introduction to the Gungan city is ethereal as we enter this mysterious place, and I can gush over and over about the Duel of the Fates. It and the sound design make almost each scene sound as well as they look. Of course, this movie does have its problems. Jar Jar is annoying, the Nemoidians are hugely offensive, and there are parts that make no sense. Like, why did they need to do the pod race to get a new hyperdrive generator? If they needed one but didn't have appropriate funds, why couldn't Qui-Gon go to a currency exchange? Or better yet, why couldn't they get to a spaceport and hire a smuggler that would take Republic credits to take them to Coruscant on their ship? I feel like they would be less likely to get tracked by the Trade Federation that way. Honestly, the whole scene was contrived specifically to get Anakin in the movie. Speaking of, I really don't like the inclusion of a chosen one narrative or how George Lucas tried to give a scientific explanation to a mystical force with midichlorians. The story really kind of suffers, honestly. The conflict of the movie is set in motion because of taxation of trade routes, which saying out loud doesn't sound all that engaging. I also feel they made it incredibly vague the reasons why the Naboo and the Gungans hate each other, but I think that was intentional so it wouldn't be like our heroes were helping a planet of colonizers or something. In the end, however, I think this is a mostly solid film that I always enjoy watching. It has its flaws, of course, but it's still a fun and enjoyable experience that will always have my appreciation. This is a 7 out of 10 for me. Favorite moment? Duel of the Fates, my favorite lightsaber duel in all Star Wars. I love the acrobatics, the various force techniques used, and of course, John Williams knocks it out of the park with this incredible score. It's phenomenal in every sense of the way. Well, that wraps it up. My name is Robert Moore, and thank you for listening. If you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my other accounts as well. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.